Welcome to Stationeers. Now, we've had another update, a rocketry update. Just my luck to start playing when we've had a bit of an update. Anyway, this is the new rocket interiors, and I'm going to give you a very basic, very brief kind of overlook of how to get your first rocket up and running, because I don't understand the advanced ones myself right now. Okay, so first you're going to need a launch mount. So that's easy enough. You put down some frames on the four cardinal directions, pop it down, weld it up, and then inside the next thing you do is you need to get do I have one lying around out here? I think I do. No. You need a fuselage, so I'm just gonna spawn one in right there, and then from this it starts with an engine mount. If you use your scroll wheel, you get different engine mount types, you get different fuselage types and different fairings. The inside of it's all pretty much the same, it's just the design on the outside. So you want to put a fuselage, let me bring out the wand, it'll be the engine mount. And then inside the engine mount, which will look a bit like that, you then put your engine. Now I'm using pump gas because it is the easiest. And this will give you a configuration at the bottom like this. Now I think that you need to put the batteries in. I don't think you need to have heavy cable interior of the rocket, but going to the batteries you definitely do. Speaking of batteries, I think I need to change. So the umbilical, which is this yoke here, connects through heavy watt cables to the batteries in ports. As I say, the outports I don't think need to be heavy watt. This will charge the batteries. I think 2 batteries is actually excessive for short journeys. You might need them in bigger rockets, but for small journeys I don't think it's a problem. Now in this engine you have 1 port, in some engines you have 2, and you need to put in the gases into tanks for pressurization separately. This one you can just put in a rocket fuel mix, which is really good because I'm in creative and there's a rocket fuel mix. Speaking of mix, we're empty. So that comes in through a separate gas umbilical cord, which again you put in the gas umbilical connector on that side. Let me show you these quickly. There's a gas umbilical right there. They start like that, and you can only put them in the rocket, and depending on which way you're facing, I mean, you could have a tower that side and a tower that side doing different things if you wanted. You then can scroll and get an angled one. So an angle that yeah, I could have angled that in rather than going around the back. Probably would have been a better idea actually, but anyway, too late now. And then the last one is you get the umbilical that goes into this tower, which, let's get the technical term for it, is the launch tower, yeah. So, the first thing you need is the electrics, otherwise nothing works. The next thing you're going to need is the fuel, otherwise nothing launches. So you're going to need a certain number of moles. If you have it cooler, you get more fuel. But obviously liquid fuel is going to be more awkward. So liquid oxygen and liquid volatiles can be in liquid tanks going into a liquid engine. It's a thing. I'll just go into rockets quickly and we'll scroll all the way down. Now actually here's a tip for you, because if you go into rockets you don't get any information, but if you search rockets and you go to the top one here, you get rocket parts are printed on the manufacturer, blah blah blah. You can read that in your own time. It basically explains how to do this. I'm just giving you a visual one. So you've got the pump liquid engine. It does liquid volatiles, liquid oxygen. You do need to balance liquid volume pumps. That's probably something going to be better done with with logic, to be honest. So I don't even know how to get the logic out of here, but we'll one thing at a time. Pumped gas engine just takes the gas, pumps it. Pressure fed gas, pressure fed liquid. So the pumped, I'd like to try the pump liquid when I get to that stage of creating a pressurized cooling system, which would be good, but in the meantime, no. This is just again a quick one to show people if you're getting stuck. So I've crammed 2 tanks in here for, well, I could, and I've kept it very small actually compared to the picture that's on the update on Steam. This is 3 tool. It has 2 batteries, 2 pumps. It does have, we can turn that off. We can turn that off, and well, we can leave that on. It doesn't take much power. This is the scanner. It has a scanner head, which has a percentage it needs replacing every now and then. It needs to be connected into the power. Then we have a miner. It has a mining head that attaches onto there. That also has a power and data connection, which you need to hook up. And it also has a cargo. Now, I've kind of left this for the reason of showing you that you can connect up using just a normal chute system from the output of the miner to the, I believe that's the input. Which would make this the output, I believe. Let me just double check this. Yeah, that's open, so it must be an input. Oops. And then this one is an output. Now again, I can use an angled one. If I, let's say, deconstruct this, put in an angled chute, and make sure I get the right directions. Perfect. Now I can go back to this, put that in, and bingo. Now I will need another umbilical on the outside, so we'll get to that. But the main thing is that these all need powering. So we're going to have a quick look at that. But the other important thing that you need to make the whole thing work, now we have got what do you call it, an IC for in here. I don't know how it works. I don't think I'm even going to bother putting it in, but one thing you do need is the data link. The data link has 2 pairs. This is the uplink that you can see down there, and then if you use the scroll wheel you can find the downlink. I had trouble trying to find this. So you can put this pretty much anywhere you want, facing any direction you want. I'm gonna stick it right there. And does it have a power link button? Does it have a power button? No, I don't think it does have a power button. It just has a green light to tell you it's on. You also need this avionics. That's basically the brain that talks to the computer. And that's pretty much the internals. Like, you can play Tetris however you want to get this to fit. We out of power again. We are out of power again. These batteries do chug a lot of power. Right, now we're back to normal. Okay. So that's the rocket side of things, and yeah, have fun Tetrising, because I just decided to try and go with a minimal ship with a scanner and a miner. Now, as you'll see, I recommend probably having a separate rocket. If you can't afford it to begin with, that's understandable, but you can always retrofit rockets to change, as you can see the parts that are in them. You might want to eventually get to the point of having a separate scanning ship, and I'll show you why. So this is the computer. Obviously we've all seen one of these. This is the rocket control motherboard. It's a new motherboard for the rocket. This is the uplink. When you first turn it on, there'll be nothing there. You need to use a screwdriver on the knob, and then logic rocket downlink. I think you can probably name that and it'll change the name on here so you don't get too confused. You can name the rockets. We're a good volume and pressure, so we're not going to eke out much more out of that. If we look in here, this is the map where you can select things. We've got the rocket here which you can turn things on and off. Make sure you've got your miner, your cargo storage, your scanner, your avionics, your downlink, the gas capsules, you can see what's in them, and the engine. Make sure it's all on there. Anything else you might have in there, volume pumps, make sure it's all registered on here before you take off. Make sure you have a good amount of gas, fuel, whatever you're using. Make sure you have a good amount of battery. As you can see, we're still not at 100%, and I started charging that, you know, 10 minutes ago, whatever it was. Anyway, for some reason optimal is not optimal, but if you put this too high, it will take absolutely forever for the rocket to land. So, but you want to have this auto land enabled bar, the confidence of landing, you want to have it high or very high. You don't want it, because if you crash, you lose your rocket, and that's obviously not a good thing. So location, this tells you about where you are. There's not much to be said about this location. First thing you need to do, you can't go here, you can't go here, you have to go to orbit. So you set destination. Then, if everything's been done correctly, and I'm going to save just in case, and I suggest you do too, turn the pump gas engine to 1. There's a big roar, and away she goes. Simple, right? That's the fun part. So, if we look here, we can see next location 5. Why does it come back? That's annoying. Let's try that again. Power on. Map here. Set destination. Oh, umbilical power line's been destroyed. Yeah, I forgot to remove. This is what happens when you forget to remove your umbilicals, by the way. They get destroyed. Whoops. It's fine. Anyway, I'll come back to that. So yeah, even though I said it first, it seemed to not recognize the fact that I had. So you might want to turn on the engine, then set your destination, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't always. Yeah, rocket has arrived at rocket mount. I don't know why it did that. Anyway, you got here. Time to destination. As I said, the fun bit's over. Now we're on to the weight. And as you can see, as it goes along, it's going to tell you roughly how much fuel time you've got burning in seconds, what your acceleration is, the engines, the gravity of the moon, your ground velocity, your target velocity, altitude, mass, dry mass. This is kind of important stuff. Thrust. The thrust has to be able to overcome the weight. And this is just how much you've got left of your fuel and battery. Now, I put a lot of battery in. Now, I need to find how to get this information onto a chip. I know there's an IC chip for the rocket, but I don't know how that communicates with ground. Okay, so now we're at our location. Now comes the next fun part. We need to find out how to go somewhere else. So we turn on the scanner, like so, by pressing 1, and then we go to location, and we need to chart. Now, in order to fully chart the location, we need 200 points. It gives us 30 each time. So we have to stand here and let this cycle through, what is it, 8 times, 7 times, something like that. Hey, we've got somewhere. It's ice ejector, and it's now charted. And now we've got some orbiting asteroid fragments. Brilliant. Fun times. So, what you do next, you go to map. Let's say we want to go to the orbiting asteroid fragments. You can set the destination, go back to the rocket, turn on the gas engine, and away she goes. Off it goes to do its thing. Somewhere up there in outer space. Is that it over there? Is that what we can see? Could be. Could well be. As you can see, that takes a short minute to get there. Now, I don't, travel time. It has to be a thing. Charting, yeah, that doesn't take too long. I mean, you can go away and do something and come back and, it's not going to lose too much there in terms of power, because the avionic only takes 10 and, the scanner does take a bit. We could have turned that off in between moons because it takes 200, but I'm not that worried. And it'd be nice to have solar panels that you could unfurl and collect some sunshine while you're up there, but we don't have that anyway. So we've arrived, and thankfully the engine turns itself off, which is all right. So now we're at the location. We go to location and we can see, okay, we can chart because we have 2 more places to go to. Fair enough, but then, well, we have stuff, we don't know what we have, so we have to discover. Apparently scanner's off. Why is scanner off? So it was on for the whole journey and turned itself off when it got here. That's very funny. Why didn't it not? Anyway. So now we do the waiting game again. We need to have 100 points to discover a new location. We get 30 each time. This is not too bad, I guess. Oh no, it's 100 per. So we need 200 again. No, there's 9 locations here, sorry, so we're going to need 900. Oh yeah, sorry, you can press the site discovery here, you can see what's on the asteroid. Sorry, that's the nav points for the charting progressive forward. We need 750, we get 30 a time, we got to wait 20 seconds. You can do the maths. So, okay, we could, every time we get one of these locations, we could get iron, copper, gold, silicon, coal. And then on the map you can see that already we've found some coal, which is, let's say we want gold, for example, because we've got loads of coal. So how do we work this? Okay, we've got another place. Where is this? This is iron. Yay. Okay, we don't need iron, we need gold. So we're gonna have to wait. And if you notice there, when we ticked over the 100, we didn't carry the points over. So you might as well say they're 25 per scan, not 30. Just bear that in mind. So this time we got gold, yay! Okay, right, let's stop the scanner because it's using power. We're okay, we're at 96, but remember, double the loss if you've only got 1 battery. So we want to travel because we aren't at the location. We need to go to the location of gold. Set destination. Turn on the engine. And we've got to wait 30 seconds. How fun is this? Now, once you've arrived, you probably want to turn on the miner. and you want to click mine. There you go. We're going to start mining. Oh, no, wait. Before you do that, what you want to do, if you want to be thorough, you want to turn your scanner on again. Because guess what? We got some surveying to do. And guess what? It takes the same scan time. And guess what? If you get 10% survey, you get the composition, you can find out what's there. 30% will give you the size, 60 will give you the richness, 100 will give you the density. So actually we get the size and composition right off the bat with one scan. That's good. Now I wonder, does it give us the 100 or does it give us 120 this time? I wonder. We will see. Anyway, we're up to 60, so that's density. 3.74. I don't know what that means. 3.74. Anyway, it's a 3.74. And it's a 3.89 size. I wonder if that changes as you mine. And the composition is 0.03 gold. I don't know why 0.3. 0.3, does that mean that from everything you get, 1/3 of what you mine will be gold? I don't rightly know. None of that's been explained to me. Next we get the richness. 1.39. Again, I don't know what that means. We do get 120% this time, so that's good. So you could keep scanning up to getting some rocket bonuses, and that's why I say you probably want to bring a separate rocket for scanning if you can afford to build them. Right, so now we want to turn on our miner. We also want to turn on our storage. And then we go to location and we hit mine. And now we get to see that our mining ends at 100%. We're going to get 6 ore. Now I don't know if it's 6 individual gold or what the story is. Let's just get to somewhere near 50, because I'm not going to sit here and wait all day. Now this is, of course, probably isn't too bad if you're running around your base doing things, but the fact you've got to keep checking back every few minutes, and you know, remember, you've got a ticking down battery there. So even if you don't, if you leave it in space and you forget that it's scanning or you forget that it's mining and you go away and you get busy, and the next thing you know, you come back and your rocket's sitting there with no power, you're in trouble. Now, of course, what you could do is put in some backup batteries. You can have a flight battery, you can have a mining battery, and toggle them around so that if you do happen to forget, then you can always get back. Just as an idea. So far we've mined 32. I'm gonna again stop at a good 60. Estimated ore at location is 6,000. That's very nice. And the good thing is, compared to the old miners, is you can go and get whatever you're looking for. So, but it just takes a lot longer, it's a lot more in-depth, and it's a lot more fun, question in quotes, you know. Okay, we're done mining, so we'll click idle, we'll go back to rocket, we'll turn off that and the miner as well. So we have stored at least one. Right. So the next thing I guess we want to do is bring her home. So let's go to location. We'll select the landing pad. We'll set destination. We'll set rocket. If we go to optimal, no, it's moderate. So we'll go to medium. And then we want to turn on the engine, and as you see, it'll start heading home again. So it says next location 24 seconds. That's to get to just the ore field. It doesn't just set home, it has to go to the ore field first. And another thing to note is if you go from the ice ejector, let's say, to here, it goes back to the moon first. I don't know why it doesn't just go in a straight line. That would save time and fuel, but no, that would be too easy. Well, too easy for us, probably too difficult for the devs, but you know, or the dev, I don't know, it's a one-man team. I don't think it is, but now we've got 45 seconds to get to the moon, and then the most fun and enthralling thing of all time, maybe because it's on Autoland. I mean, if you were trying to do it yourself and not die from an explosion, maybe it would actually be quite enthralling and not maybe tedious as well, but maybe it would be exciting in some way. But you know, this part now, once it gets back into lunar orbit, or orbit of wherever you happen to be, will then start its descent. And unlike the 30 to 60 seconds it's taken so far, now we have, yeah, that's 2 minutes and rising while it auto adjusts. 3 minutes, we're going to get to 3 minutes. And of course time's already ticking, so as it's descending it's still going up in time. We are at, yeah, about 3 minutes. So now it's going to take another 3 minutes to descend through the atmosphere and land. As I say, this is one of the most enthralling mechanics I've ever seen in a video game. Yeah, I've popped in the umbilicals again. I need to put in the one for the chute a bit later. Also want to see if I can, we'll see if we can find out how to use the circuit housing while we're there. So I've tried putting a logic chip down here to read this thing, and it doesn't really do much. Like if we go to, this has nothing of use and this has nothing of use, so yeah. Oh look, here we are. And that there, that must be a trader or someone else wandering in the sky. I don't know. Looks like other people doing stuff up there anyway. Yay, our rocket has returned. Right, these have gone to the edges to show they're in the right place. Now we need to, yes, it was here, so we need shoot umbilical right about there. Now that'll need power. Now, most of the umbilicals need power on the right hand side, but the power umbilical needs power on a separate power network for the actual power. So you can have the umbilical powered on one network and the actual power for the rocket coming from a completely separate circuit. So if I just do that, it's going to spit things out. So what I'm going to do is stick in a chute or two to direct things downwards. Hopefully that'll stop it from getting flung a million miles away. Now obviously you'd want to put this into some system of sorts. If we press the button, connection is made. Oh yeah, that reminds me, you need to actually click the storage. You want to turn it on. Does that shoot it out? No, no. Why are you not on? Then you want to hit open. Hey, so there we go, 52 dirty ore. So it's 52 dirty ore. Let me... Wow, that's processing. Just want to have a quick look at what this gives you, see if it's worth printing out. So we only need the one input for this. That can be anywhere you want it. Oh, that's a bit further back than I thought it was. Okay, not a problem. Bingo. So you can actually use the nooks and crannies in there to put other bits and even make the rocket. Well, I don't think you get much smaller than this, but there we go. Right, let's see what's going on there then. So for every 1 ore, you'll get 0.6. 0.3. So yeah, so every one you'll get 0.3 gold for every one that you get, basically. That's really good. Right, let's see. Circuit housing. You can on. You can setting. So I guess you can give it a setting. Requires 50 power, and then so you could put it into 3 and that'll execute a code. Put it into 4, that'll execute a code. Put it into 1, that'll execute a code. I see. I think. But I don't know how to. I'd like to be able to like have a lever system where I could, or lever system where I could go like on the wall here. I could just look at some readouts, press a button or pull a lever, and it would make the rocket do something, rather than have to click into the UI, click into the thing, type the number. It's suddenly getting really more involved than, and I want that to be able to be done maybe remotely and have a control system somewhere else on the network and not have the computer right there. And you know, I'd like to have options. But anyway, so we figured out how to get ores, how to bring them back. But anyway, so I hope that has given you some new or beginner introduction to how rockets work if you were unsure. As I say, this is the very basics, very basics, because I don't really know much beyond this at the moment. Like, it's going to require volume pumps to do the pressurized version. It's going to require liquid fuels, which is easy enough to make. If you get the right temperature of fuel and pressure, it'll stay as a liquid. So yeah, I'm sure you can probably figure some of that stuff out yourself. And I don't think these tanks can be arranged any more efficiently. It's just because you can't put them sideways, you have to put them lengthways. There's no other way around it. So yeah, I could probably squish them down one more, but then it would leave no room for stuff down here. So yeah, happy rocketing, and I hope this helps. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.